Good morning, student. Saira. Hope you all are fine and safe at your place. So let us begin with our today's class. As you know that in the previous class we have discussed about your grammar portion, and in that we have discussed a topic named active and passive voice. So we have discussed what is active and passive voice. Later we have discussed certain cases where we have to change the tenses. We have discussed till simple present tense. So today we are going to further discuss the leftover or the left portion. So let us start. So we have discussed the cases with the present tense and past tense. For example, in simple past tense, if a sentence is in active voice, then what is the structure of that sentence? That sentence must have a subject plus past participle plus object. For example, she cleaned the house. She cleaned the house. Here, cleaned is the verb and it is in past participle. Now, if we want to change this active voice into passive voice, then what going to be the structure? The structure will subject should be there plus was or were should be there plus past participle plus by an object. For example, the house was cleaned by her. So was is used because it is singular. But if going to be plural, then we are going to use were. Let's see the another example. She saved her money. She saved her money. This is in active voice. Now we have to change this into passive voice. What we have to do? See the sentence carefully. Here, she saved her money. With money, we are having her also. So, we are going to use her money as object in the active voice. Now, this object will become subject in passive voice. And the sentence will start with her money. Her money. Now, we are going to add was plus past participle. Here the verb is saved. Her money was saved. We are going to add by. By. She in the active voice will become her in the passive voice, as I have discussed that in the previous class also. So the sentence will become her money was saved by her. Now let us move on to the another case of past continuous tense. Now, past continuous tense, if the sentence is in active voice, the structure will be subject plus was or were plus past participle plus object. For example, I was waiting for Dinah. I was waiting for Dinah. Now, if we want to change I was waiting for Dinah into passive voice, then what will going to be the structure be? The structure will be subject plus was or were plus being plus past participle and by object. Now, if you see here, Dinah is an object in active voice. Now, this will become subject in passive voice. So, here you see Dinah is coming first. Then we will write was plus being is also added here. Dinah was being waited by me. Here waiting become waited. The next example, she was reading a novel. Now a novel will be the subject in passive voice. We are going to write was being. Now reading will become read by her. A novel was read by her. So this was the case of past continuous tense. Now past perfect tense. If the sentence is in active voice, the structure will be subject plus had plus past participle plus object. Now subject, here is I had finished my work. This is the example. I had finished my work. Now if we want to change this into passive voice, what's going to be the structure? The structure will be subject plus had been plus past participle plus by object. Now we know that the object in active voice will become subject in passive voice. Here my work is object and it will become subject in passive voice. So the sentence will start with my work had been finished by me. I is the subject in active voice, and when it is changed into passive voice, it becomes me. Let's see the next example. He had posted the letter. The letter had been posted by him. Now let's jump on to simple future tense. If the sentence is in simple future tense, the structure will be subject plus will plus infinite plus object. For example, I shall read a newspaper. Now we want to change into passive voice. The structure will be subject plus will plus be plus past participle plus by object. And the changed sentence will look like this. A newspaper will be read by me. The next example is they will pay the tax. Now, the tax will be paid by them. Hope you understand how to change. It's very simple. Just remember, first change the position of subject and object, then apply the rule, which is I'm teaching you right now about the tenses. Now future continuous tense. The structure of active voice is subject plus will plus be plus present participle plus object. Example is they will be watching movie on next Saturday. Now if we want to change this into passive voice, the structure will be subject plus be plus will plus being plus past participle plus by object. A movie will being done by him tomorrow. Now the next example is she will be applying a job. A job will being applied by her. Now let's move on to future perfect tense. Future perfect tense, in active voice it is subject plus would plus infinite plus object. Example, I would buy a book tomorrow. Now change into passive voice. It will become subject plus would plus be plus past participle plus by object. And the changed sentence will look like a book would be bought by me. They would play football next time. Football would be played by them next time. So this is about tenses, but there is a case where present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous and future perfect continuous cannot be changed from active to passive voice. So in these three cases you are not going to see any changes from active to passive voice. But there are certain rules to change from active to passive. For example, here is a note for interrogative sentences. If a question is being asked to you and you want to change that into passive voice, how you will change? The verbs do, does, or did come at the beginning of the interrogative sentence in active voice. But in your passive voice, the verb is, am, are, was, or were comes at the beginning of interrogative sentence in passive voice. This was about your interrogative sentence. Now, if in any sentence you find anything, any, any of the, who, or whom, these words, and you want to change this into passive voice, then how then anything will become nothing, any will become no, any of the will become none of the, who will become whom, and whom will become who. Let's see certain example and it will be clear to you. Like anything was not heard by him. This is in active voice. Now you want to change this into passive voice. Then the sentence will, nothing was heard by him. Any of the sum cannot be done by me. None of the sum can be done by him. Any part is not played by him in the drama. No part is played by him in the drama. Who can do this? By whom can this be done? Whom did you see? Who was seen by you? So this is how you have to change active into passive and passive into active. So this was all about your grammar chapter, active and passive voice, where we learned what is active and passive voice, what actually the role of voice in the grammar. Then we learn the rules to change from active to passive. And now you can try to solve the exercise in your book on your own while changing the sentence from active to passive voice. So with this we are done with the chapter active and passive voice. So that's all for today. Thank you students. Take care.